In this video, I'm going to show you how to solve simple equations. I'm going to do this using proper mathematical techniques, which means 1. What you learn will be useful across the whole of the mathematics you are studying, not just this particular topic. 2. You'll be able to build on it, unlike being taught tricks, which often are a dead end. And 3. Hopefully you'll have a better understanding of what's going on, which means you'll be much better able to tackle exam questions that may have been written in a slightly different way. Writing exam questions in a different way is a surefire way of separating out the students who understand the topic and those that have just learnt by rote. The word equation is related to the word equal, and the whole point of an equation is that the left-hand side is equal to the right-hand side. You may have met the idea of a balanced set of scales. It's an equation, so the left and the right are perfectly balanced. The crucial thing is to keep the equation balanced. Anything that you do to the left, you must do exactly the same to the right. If you add something to the left, you must add just the same to the right. If you take something from the left, you must take just the same from the right. And if you double the size of the left, you must double the size of the right, and so on and so on. Do the same to the whole of the left and the whole of the right-hand side of the equation. This is the one most important rule when solving equations. If you follow this rule, you won't go wrong, yet it's the rule that often gets ignored. We look here at an example. Step 1 is to decide what operation you want to carry out. In other words, do you want to add, subtract, multiply or divide, for example. Now, since this is an introduction, I'm going to tell you what to do. In another video, we'll look at how you can work out what you should do using something called a function machine. But in this case, I'm just going to tell you to subtract 7. Now, step 2, I've made my choice, subtract 7, and so I know now I do just that to both sides. Step 3, I simplify the left and I simplify the right. If I look at step 4, it's not finished. So I'm going to return to step 1. Again, I'm just going to tell you to divide by 2. And so again, step 2 is to do that to the whole of the left and the whole of the right. Step 3, simplify the left and simplify the right. And that gives us x equals 3. And it's always good practice to substitute your answer back into the original equation just to check that it's correct. Which it is, the left equals the right. Step 1, deciding what to do, is covered in another video. And this is because in this introductory video, I want to make the strong point that even if you make a wrong decision in step 1, as long as you correctly and faithfully carry out steps 2 and 3, you won't as such go wrong. All you might do is make things a little bit more complicated. For example, let's suppose instead of deciding to subtract 7 from both sides, I chose to add 7 to both sides. Let's see what happens. Step 2, I'm going to add 7 to both sides. And then step 3, simplify the whole of the left and the whole of the right. Now this equation 2x plus 14 equals 20 isn't any simpler, but it's certainly not wrong. So we just carry on as before. This time I'm going to decide to subtract 14 from both sides. On step 2, I'm actually going to carry that out. Now I'm going to simplify. And I end up with this equation. Finally, I decide to divide by 2. So step 2, I'll divide both sides by 2. And again, step 3, I'll simplify to give me x equals 3. And so you can see, even though we didn't always make the best choice in step 1, as long as we always carry out steps 2 and 3 correctly, we'll get there in the end.